Hello, community. This is my first time going live in English. Whoa, this is a funny feeling. I'm really honored to have here as my guest David Rams. I got to know David Rams via Instagram since I am vegan, and I saw David in one post. I think it maybe 8 months ago or half a year ago. And I started to follow him on Instagram, and I also follow him on YouTube. He's pretty big in YouTube, so go to YouTube and check his channel, David Rams. We can link it here later on through our show. But now I let David, no, this way, I let David present himself. Who is he? What is he doing? And then we go to the questions I have for him today.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, Emily. And yes, I'm a vegan content creator. I would say that's how I would define what I do. As you said, I'm working on YouTube, working on Instagram. I'm creating video content mainly, also different kinds of posts and images and kind of some memes and things like that as well. Trying to raise awareness of what's happening to the animals, trying to raise awareness about what veganism is and why we should be vegan. And often doing it in ways that are controversial, as well as ways that are, educational, and as well as ways that are humorous as well. Just trying to kind of get through to people in the ways that I think are the most, that work the best, and the ways that I am the most capable of doing as well. With my personality and my skill set, and that's I guess that's me in a nutshell. Basically, that's what I'm doing and where I spend most of my time.
Yeah, I really like your content. I would say 90% of your videos. Some videos I watch twice. I also attend your lives really frequently. I must admit, often your lives are so long that I tune in the beginning and in the end. But I am there nearly every time. Wow, Maya is commenting. Maya is a connection here on LinkedIn. Emily, yeah, English. Maya has been saying to me several months already, Irma, start posting in English. Okay, Maya, I heard your call. I might reconsider doing a live in English again and write even something in English. Maybe I invite you, Maya, as a guest. What do you think? Well, David, we go straight to the questions.
Sure.
How and why did you become animal activist, vegan content creator?
Yeah, I was the reason I became vegan in the first place was actually a bit of a realization that I had at the age of 18 when I just basically realized that, okay, why am I consuming cow's milk? Because it's first of all, it's from a cow. Why am I drinking milk from a cow? And secondly, why am I even drinking milk? Why am I breastfeeding as an adult human? And why am I breastfeeding from another animal? I started to become a bit confused. Like, why is this seen as normal, and why am I doing it? So I stopped that, and then I took the same approach with eggs. I started to look at eggs and started to think, wait a minute, why am I consuming what is part of a chicken's menstrual cycle? A chicken's period. It's part of the period cycle of a chicken, like humans have, like female humans have. Why am I consuming? Why am I eating part of that? This is just weird and sick. And when I looked into where I can get the nutrients, I could get all the nutrients from other places and plant-based sources. And I was already a vegetarian, so I decided to become vegan. At that point, I had little to no idea of the amount of abuse and exploitation and cruelty that were in those industries. So once I learned about that as well, it was just a no-brainer. And this is what led me to becoming vegan. Like, for example, in the dairy industry, the dairy farmers, they have to impregnate the cows because they have to be pregnant, they have to have babies to give milk, just like humans do. So the farmers make them get pregnant. They rape them, they shove their hands inside them to inject them with semen. They do the same thing, they rape bulls. They masturbate bulls to get the semen from bulls. All of this is happening in all dairy farms all over the world to get the cows to give milk, right? So I learned that, and it was obviously further reassuring me that this was the right decision. And then I learned about how this is also happening with the egg industry. They're doing the same thing with chickens, like, forcing them to breed, taking the babies away from them. The same in the dairy industry, taking the babies away from them. Same in the meat industry. It's all of these industries, leather as well, all the industries that are using animals are just run in a way where these animals are treated and used as if they were just products, because they are just products at the end of the day. These people, they don't see the animal, they see cheese, or they see meat, or they see leather, they see money, and the consumers are part of that, paying for that. So once all of this became very clear to me, I didn't want to be a consumer anymore, and I realized that actually that wasn't enough. Just not to consume it, not to pay for it is not enough, because it's still happening. I stop paying for it and it continues. So what do? Well, I need to go out, I need to talk about it. People need to see this. They need to see what I saw. They need to understand what I understand. And I want to try to, help people to see that, help them to go vegan, or at least know how to go vegan and then go vegan, because that's the first thing we can do to stop these horrors, these absolute horrors, most of us. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is great. I've learned so much from you, and I've been teaching a lot of things that I've learned from you. No, this way. I've learned from, no, this way.
It's that way, yeah.
Because this is,
that way.
How do you call it in English? It's mirrored.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's mirrored,
so, yeah, I've learned so much from you, from your content, and I've been teaching the things I've learned from you. I've been teaching because I've noticed the things you learn, and then if you straight away teach them to someone else, that way you have learned them for yourself so clearly. And I live here on the countryside. I see many animal farms every day. I see few cows every day, and I didn't know all this stuff I've learned from you. But now that I know, I also see it.
Yeah.
And it hurts me every day. For example, next to the school, in another place where we do not live, but next to the school where my kids go, they also have a cow farm next to the school in the middle of the city, which means these cows never see a green field, never see light. They just come there, stay there for a few years, and then they are dead after that. So there's so many aspects. I didn't even think about the milk industry. And every time when I tell this story, what I've learned from you, or these facts, it's not a story, everyone's like, whoa, I never thought of that. And that's what the industry is doing us. They do not want that we think of that. But since I've been thinking these things, it's also clear to me, why should I, as a human person, drink milk from a cow? It's like totally makes no sense at all. No, but it takes time to realize that.
Absolutely. And what you just mentioned there is really important about how, you're looking at the fields, and it takes someone to point it out to you to make you realize that, wait a minute, this is not like an idyllic, peaceful thing that's going on here. This is because of the conditioning we've had. And if you want to, people don't tend to believe vegans when we say that it's conditioning. Really, truly, it's conditioning. They tend to go and say, no, you're just crazy vegans. But look into history. Look at how many times we've been conditioned to believe something was okay, and now we say it's not okay. You can look at the one of the most famous and controversial points that has been made by both vegans and also vegans who are members of the Jewish community, and vegans who are survivors of the Holocaust, and vegans who are families of the survivors of the Holocaust. The most controversial comparison they've made is animal agriculture. They've compared it to the Jewish Holocaust. And that sounds crazy at first. People are like, oh my God, what the hell? How could you do that? But think about it, that what the Nazis did with the Jewish people is they convinced the German public that this was okay, and this was totally fine, this was normal. Many of the German public didn't say a word about it. They went on living okay, this is happening, this is normal. Obviously, some people protested, but not many, because the Nazis did a great job of convincing people that this was what needed to happen. And then what they did, they used gas chambers to kill people. They killed millions of people using the same kinds of excuses and this exact same systems that animal agriculture does now. They based all of their systems on animal agriculture because that was the most efficient way to kill as many people as possible. And just the same way now as the animal agriculture industry, it's fooled most people into thinking this is perfectly normal, perfectly acceptable, just like they did. And it's using the system's gas chambers. They gas pigs to death. They gas chickens to death. Okay, so it's using gas chambers just like they did. And it's killing them in death camps, slaughterhouses, in the millions, just like they did. I mean, it sounds like an offensive comparison when you hear it at first, but I mean, how can you deny that there are similarities there? And 99% of people that you speak to now would say, no, I don't agree with what that happened. I don't agree with, the slave traders of the past, not just the most recent history, but also, Roman slave traders. People look back at all of these people and we say they're evil, they're horrible, they're this, they're that. But we're repeating all of the same mistakes, but we're doing it to non-human animals. They're enslaved, they're oppressed, they're put in gas chambers, they're put in, sent to death camps. It's all of the same things. And all of the same excuses that these slave traders and Nazis were using. They're lower than us. They're less intelligent than us. They're not human. We're doing the same thing right now. That's exactly what we're saying about non-human. Well, they're not human. Well, they're not as intelligent as us. Well, they don't matter. We're literally repeating the mistakes of the past, yet we condemn the mistakes of the past. So how, what is a double standard? And you just mentioned it right then, as just to go back to the original point you made. You weren't noticing it. You weren't seeing it. You were seeing the cows in fields and like, oh, this is all fine. Just like those individuals all back in the past were saying the same things. Well, it's fine. It's fine. It's the way it is. It's all good. There's nothing bad happening here. It's just life. It's not just life. And it doesn't have to be just life, does it?
Yeah, I see it here every day since, as I mentioned, I live in the countryside and we have many farms here around. And I go often and ride a bike. And I didn't think it before I got to know you and all these vegan facts. But now that I know, I think why I know that in this building, in this gray, very sad looking building, in really big building, I know that inside of this building are living many animals. I don't know, pigs or cows, because they don't write it, which animals are suffering in this building.
Yeah.
They don't have any windows so that I could look inside. And they do not give you the impression, come here and see what's happening with these animals. Not at all. And I have all these pictures in my head because I know all the buildings 2 kilometers away from me. They'll be building new buildings like this.
Yeah.
And I know so many of these buildings that there are so many animals suffering every day and nobody's doing nothing because all the people think they don't even think. They don't give any thought about this fact, what's happening inside those buildings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this has happened throughout history to humans, to other humans, and
it's still happening.
And it still happens, yeah. And we condemn it as well when it happens. We say, no, we don't want to be like those people. But in the way that those people acted towards humans, people today are acting like that towards non-humans. So what is the real difference between you and a slave trader? What is the real difference between you and a Nazi? Really, though, right? What the difference is the victim? That's pretty much it. One's a human, one's not. That's the only difference. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's how it is. It really is how it is. Unless you can, explain it away, make it make sense. Because right now it doesn't make sense. If you're against what they did, you should be against what's happening now to these non-human animals.
Yeah, you cannot explain it away. And I think it's we consumers, we have so strong weapon here. If we do not buy any animal products, this industry would be dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
But because we still keep buying animal products, it gets going. But now we have few comments here.
Sure.
Lottie comments, hi Irmali, I'm glad I just got to know you been vegan for 30 years for animals' sake. Thanks, Lottie. I think I got to know Lottie via our business ladies, Finnish business ladies here on LinkedIn. Thanks, Lottie. Then I have a question from Maya. I have a question. How to maintain the baby's diet without meat? Yes, this is sad, Maya.
Yeah.
David has an answer here.
Yeah, I can talk to you about it. Sorry, my light shut off, but you can still see me, right? It's still
no
okay?
worries.
All right, I'll charge it and we'll see if we can bring it back. Okay, so yeah, all the books have say that you need to have animal protein, and the question is why are these books suggesting, or not even suggesting, they're directly recommending that you give children animal protein, or you give adults animal protein? Why would they be doing that when it's not true, right? Well, partly it's partly ignorance. It's partly that many doctors have a very limited knowledge of nutrition. They get very limited training of nutrition, and the training they do get in nutrition is outdated. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, by the way. I'm not a doctor, but I know that this is true, that it's outdated. I know enough to know that it's outdated, and a lot of these textbooks haven't been updated to the most modern science, the most modern nutrition. So most doctors aren't learning from the most recent research, and they're advised to go for what's safe, right? What's always been, go for what it's always been, what it always has been. Don't suggest something new, because it might backfire, and then you might find yourself with a lawsuit, right? So doctors tend to go for what they've always gone for, and they suggest what they would always, what other doctors have suggested for years. And we are in the process right now of a transition where many newer doctors, younger doctors are actually, and older doctors too, are starting to see the massive benefits of plant-based protein instead of animal-based protein. So they are recommending that now, which is great. So the best thing you can do, the question is how to maintain the baby's diet without meat. The best thing you can do is to well, if you don't have time to research it, you can get access to some resources where you can get the answers to your questions very quickly. There are two places you can go right now. One of them is called challenge22.com. It's a website, challenge22.com.
You can write that also in the private chat, and then I can make a banner.
Sure. So there's one website. This website will give you full access to a team of professionals, qualified individuals, as well as just volunteer vegans. Everyone in there is a volunteer. It's 100% free. They will answer all of your questions regarding protein in infants, protein in children, protein in adults, to get all of your protein without consuming animal products, because it's perfectly possible, it's perfectly doable. It's just knowing how. All right, so that's one. The other one you can use, also, if you want even more information, this one is more like a course-based website. So Challenge 22 will give you access to like groups, Facebook groups, where you'll have the chat and you'll be able to connect with people and they'll help you. This other one, Veganbootcamp.org, which I've just posted there as well, this will give you access to courses for free, 100% free, all little mini courses where you can learn everything that you need to know about veganism, animal rights, nutrition, recipes, everything you would ever need. Those two links will give you everything. So that's where you could get that. And of course, if you want to go the whole 9 yards with this, you could find a plant-based doctor, plant-based nutritionist, and obviously you're going to have to pay for that most likely. But if you have kids and you want to make sure you do it right, maybe it's worth putting a bit of money into it, because at the end of the day, if you invest a bit of money into like some plant-based nutritionist, plant-based doctor, or specialist, then you get the information you need, and obviously your kid's going to grow and get all the nutrition they need, and that'll be great and taken care of. But also, and more importantly here, because you're not going to be funding these atrocities. And I'll say that's more important because you have to try really, really, like, let me just put this straight. This whole stories you hear about kids having malnutrition because of veganism and things like that, these stories are from parents who neglected their children. You have to try really, really hard to hurt your kid with a poor diet. Like, it's, common sense will prevail most of the time. All right. That's why I say it's more important to not be funding these atrocities, because look, if you switched your child to a vegan plant-based diet right now and gave them, the food you would imagine, lentils, chickpeas, potatoes, vegetables, fruits, all this nuts, all this good stuff, they're going to be healthy. You don't need to monitor it and micromanage it. All right. They're going to be fine. Whereas if you feed them cheese, one piece of cheese, one glass of milk, one piece of animal flesh, an entire animal has had to suffer and die for that most of the time. If it's meat, every time. If it's dairy, they'll be sent to a slaughterhouse when the farmer's done with them. If it's eggs, they'll be sent to a slaughterhouse when the farmer's done with them, and they're currently being manipulated and abused for those products. So, it's weighing it up. You got to weigh it up, obviously, and I hope anyone would agree here that it's very much worth switching your diet and your lifestyle to stop that from happening.
Yes, I noticed it myself since I've been now 1.5 years vegan. I was not sick, but I had some health problems, and then I became vegan. And then 3 months after that, I was like, whoa, what happened? I don't have any health problems anymore. Like I was not for observing myself. Then just 3 months ago, 3 months after that, I noticed, whoa, all these problems are gone. And then half a year later, I noticed, why do I look so young nowadays? I look much younger than last year. And then I realized, whoa, because I went vegan. So I only recommend this to everybody. Only if you want to do it for your own selfish reasons. But I became vegan because of the animals. I read one book. I read that book. I was on the page 30 and I was like, okay, I'm done with this business. I'm reading this book and I'm going vegan. And I went vegan overnight. So you don't have to plan. You just go vegan. And in the beginning, I was like, whoa, what can I eat? Then I made one shelf in my fridge. This is my vegan shelf. But nowadays I'm like, whoa, what I'm going to eat today? There's so many possibilities. I learned a total new world. I don't eat any vegan substitution products like any fake meat or fake milk. I do not eat any of that because I can cook myself every day. So it was total new world what I got to know. And then I also got to know David via Instagram and all the other great vegan people in the community. But now we have a look. Do we have any other comments here? Yes, Maya said, thank you very much for the insights. I'm already on the challenge 22. Whoa, Maya. Thumbs up here, Maya. Awesome. I will send you a message afterwards because we haven't been talking lately. Great to hear from you, Maya. Now we have a next question here. So since you post a lot on Instagram, you post a lot on YouTube, now you told me you're starting to post maybe on LinkedIn. I have to find your profile because I thought you are not even on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But now I know that you are. I will find you. And then my question was, how much time does it take to post so much? So many videos, so many posts, everything what you're doing.
It depends on the length and the style of the video as to like how long it would take to make that video. If it's a vlog type of video that's maybe 2 or 3 minutes, then it would take maybe half a day to film and edit, if not less. And the more time consuming parts can be around the video, actually. Like editing the video obviously takes time, but so does editing a thumbnail. So does doing keyword research to figure out what kind of title or what kind of video you want to even make. Scripting takes a long time. I recently just did a script for a new video, which took a few hours because it was a video response. So I had to watch the video, make my response, watch the video, make my response, watch the video, make my response. And you do that. And the video itself is like 20 minutes. So I'm watching someone else's video and planning my response. So you can think, I got to watch the whole thing with my pauses, right, to write and think. So the video is 20, so I mean you triple the time basically, and it's already like it's 60 minutes, and then maybe it's longer than that because you need to have a good think about what you're going to write. So planning and filming and editing and thumbnails and research, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of time, and especially if you want to add some effects and things into the videos. But to saying that though, I don't want to dissuade anyone from doing this because at the beginning, I wasn't doing it like this. At the beginning, when I started out doing this, it wasn't taking me very long at all because I would just film a video, I would do very minimal editing, and I'll post it. And that's how I began, and that's how everyone should begin, really. Just do what you can do, turn the camera on, push record. You don't even edit it. If you don't know how to edit yet, don't worry about it. Just throw it up, because at the end of the day, you can always redo your old videos 3 years later and do them in the way you've learned how to do. Don't sit around hesitating to hit that upload button because you don't think it's as good as someone else's. If you've got something to talk about, you've got something to say, especially if it's going to be about animal rights and veganism, because I'm passionate about that, and I want more people to speak about that as well. The animals need you to speak up. Don't worry about pulling the trigger. Just pull the trigger. Just do it. Put it out there. See what happens, and just get as much out there as you can. It's all valuable. We need as many people as possible speaking about this.
Yeah, these were all good tips also for everyone who's planning to start posting anything on social media. Just start. I started also my YouTube channel without knowing how to edit. I thought editing, wow, that must be really difficult. Then I finally made the step and I learned how to edit. My God, it's not difficult. Yet it's time consuming, but it's really easy. Okay, the quality that David is doing with his videos, that's another level. I cannot do that, but I know how to edit and cut and clip and then put it together again. And it's really not difficult. You just have to sit down and start. And one thing you were saying that 3 years later you can redo your video. Here on LinkedIn you can do it 3 months later, because LinkedIn is so poor with the quality, how to see what have you been posting. Even for me on my own profile, it takes ages if I want to see what did I post 3 months ago, because LinkedIn doesn't have the grid like on Instagram, where you see so easily, oh, this guy is posting again the same stuff. No, on LinkedIn, I've been watching many influencers here on LinkedIn, they do it all. So David, if you ever start here on LinkedIn actively, just repeat every 3 months your stuff and nobody's going to notice anything. So that's my tip here for you.
Good to know. Good to know. Kind of like it's the same with TikTok. I think TikTok, a lot of people, they post and then they just like 2 weeks later they repost the same video, because TikTok, it works like that. People don't mind it. People do that all the time. They just repost, and you can't really do that on YouTube, and you can't do that really on Facebook either. But yeah, if you can do it on LinkedIn and TikTok, they're probably 2 good places for people with a lot of content that they want to get out again and again and again, like pieces that can be repeated.
I don't say that you should post exactly the same thing, but you can take a different text and other photo 3 months later.
Yeah, sure.
Or you can redo the video, the same message, all the same, but a different background.
Right.
Yeah, sure. And nobody's going to notice the difference. So I haven't done it yet since I'm not so active here yet, but I am going to do it because I see everybody's doing it. They tell the same stories. And that's also the thing. You're always posting vegan stuff because you're a vegan activist, a vegan content creator. And I never saw you posting anything else. And that's the 100% the right thing to do. We also pick our thing and then we post about that. But then you have to pick a thing you're posting that you love to talk every day. I found my thing, but it took a long time before I found it. Yes. Now I have a real tricky question for you.
Sure.
I know that being an activist is hard to make a living. And then I have another thinking here. I think it's 100% correct that an activist is making a living, because I sometimes see that many people are biased about things. They think, yeah, it's great you're posting content, great that you're entertaining us and informing us every day, but why do you want to earn money with this? So what do you think about this?
Yeah, people, they have this idea that people who speak about veganism and animal rights, they should be living in a box and eating rice and beans for every meal. If eating at all, maybe they shouldn't even be eating. We should be poor. We should be living the worst life. And my counter argument to that is, how do you expect to inspire anyone in that, like, if you look and act like that? Do you think that's what people want to live like? Do you think that's what people aspire to be? If imagine if every single vegan in the world looked, whether they were or not it doesn't matter, but if they looked like they couldn't afford anything, they were giving the impression they were very poor, constantly telling people about the way they live in this way where they can barely get by because that's the way that they think is right, and that's what veganism is about. Do you really think the general public is going to look at that and say, oh, I want to be like that, I want to go vegan, I want to join this community where everyone makes every effort to not enjoy their life and not eat the things they like, and not live in any kind of any luxury whatsoever? No, of course not. It's not inspirational. It's not inspiring. So that's kind of one element to it. Is there are influencers out there who are vegan and they talk about veganism who actually live the complete opposite of that. They show everyone, look at the lavish lifestyle I live. Look at what I do. Look at me. I'm on the beach and things like this, and I'm a vegan as well. And look what I talk about animal rights, and I'm on the beach again, and then I'm, I don't know, jet skiing, and then I'm also talking about animal rights. And people get angry at them for that. They say, no, you can't be like living that luxury life as a vegan, as an activist, or whatever they are. And again, it's like, well, you know, this is a form of activism. This is how you inspire. This is what lifestyle influencers do. They show you their lifestyle and they inspire you to do something similar. And when it's a vegan lifestyle influencer, well, I mean, what would you rather they were? Would you rather they weren't vegan and they were doing that? Because there are many of those influencers. But no, I think it's brilliant that some people do that. That's not me. Of course, I'm not a lifestyle influencer. I'm not living any kind of lavish lifestyle, but I am trying to earn money. Now, back to the kind of the original question you asked is that why can't activists earn money? Why can't vegan content creators earn money? People, again, they think we should be poor. But at the end of the day, if you want people like me to have to work a full-time job in a supermarket and then make content for once a week, barely when I get the time off, then yeah, okay, then don't yeah, don't tell people not to help, then tell people not to tell these people not to earn money. Then if that's what you want, if you would rather vegan content creators have to, you know, work jobs that are non-vegan. But as it stands, that's kind of not the case. Like, I am earning some money from my work through other vegans, through people who support my work and want to contribute to my work, through my sales of t-shirts like the one I'm wearing now, like, you know, merchandise, and on my website, davidrams.com, and through YouTube. YouTube is paying me through advertising. This is how I'm earning money. So thankfully, at my present moment, I don't have to go and work in a non-vegan supermarket or in any kind. Basically, every single job out there is not a vegan job. Every single job is gonna contribute to animal exploitation in one way or another. So I'm in a fortunate position where I don't have to do that. I don't understand why any vegan would want me to do that versus what I'm doing now. They would want to. Why would you want a vegan to have less time to create and spend more time doing things for other people who most likely aren't vegan and getting money that way? It makes absolutely no sense at all. So yeah, that's my thoughts on all of that.
I've been thinking about this matter because your job, you change lives. You also made my boyfriend to become vegan. So I'm really thankful for you for that. Because when I became vegan, nobody was believing in me. Everybody's, okay, this is the thing, you're doing this for 1 month and then it's over. Then I did vegan for 1 year, and slowly people here in my house started to believe in, okay, she's really sticking to that. Yeah. And then I started following you and what I did very often, I just let your video run next to our dinner table. Right. Where it's like, David is live. I'm gonna listen to this. Okay, I see you all meeting meat here, but I'm listening to David, and they also had to listen to you. And that's how it all changed. Wow. So really thankful for that. And now I come to my point, because you are changing lives. You're making people healthier. You're saving animals. You're making our society better just because you're doing your content. And that's what, let's say, life coaches also do. They change lives. They do not improve any life for any animals, but you're changing lives for people and for the animals. So I see all the good reasons why you should be earning money, a lot of money with that, what you're doing. Because if you're not changing lives, who is then? And I think all the vegan activists should be really proud of that, what they do, because how many animals do not die per year when I do not eat meat?
So how many animals?
How many animals do not die? Do not have to die?
Year. I honestly, I couldn't put a number on that. I know there are numbers out there, but it's not something I tend to put too much focus on. Because it's that's a complicated topic, but I don't know. Short answer is I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, that's okay. But let's say 50 to 100 animals I save every year for not eating them.
I mean, if you were eating meat every single day, okay, for example, and if you were eating, animal products every single day, I mean, it's okay. Let's say it's at least 365 animals if you're just talking about directly the ones that are killed for meat. If you're talking about indirectly the ones that were used for dairy and eggs, we're almost into numbers that you can't even quantify, probably, because you couldn't probably put a number on it, but it would definitely be upwards of, probably close to 1,000, if not more. And then what, clothing and other things that you maybe you less directly contributed to by consuming and using other things. It's hard to put a number on it, but yeah, I get what you're trying to say. It's probably a 1,000 or more, I would say, if I was going to put a kind of speculate.
Yeah, so I see you making a difference in this world. Every person that becomes vegan via your content, it's worth of money in my world, at least. And you're changing lives. You're making lives of people and animals much better. So all these people who are saying that a vegan activist shouldn't earn any money are like, whoa, how do you make your living then? But we get further. What are your plans for the future? How are you going to grow your reach? And could you put on the private chat your davidrams.com so that I could also post that banner, that people could go there? And then I come one step back. Please all go to the YouTube channel from David Rams. You put that on the YouTube search, you find his channel, and then you can join his Patreon team and support him financially monthly. Or do it as I did. I paid once for the whole year. I think it's easier.
Thank you. Yeah, I've sent you the links to everything there as well. But yeah, so to explain that just a bit further about how the just to close off the kind of finances and the kind of money side of things, I just want to make it really clear in that my situation with how my whole system works right now is I'm able to continue doing what I'm doing through davidrams.com, which is selling merchandise, also through YouTube advertising and also through Patreon. But at present, it's definitely not where it needs to be for me to continue to do this full time. I want to make that really clear. I'm able to do it full time because of the situation I'm currently in. But if I wanted to do this in a longer term, it's not at the place where it needs to be. None of these, not the website, not the YouTube, not the Patreon, none of them are at the place where they need to be. So yeah, if you're watching this and you are someone who thinks that enjoys my work, or thinks that this work is needed, or as Emily was saying, that thinks that it's helping to change the world, which I really appreciate, then please do consider subscribing to the YouTube and picking some merchandise up from the website, but also joining the Patreon team, because you can join the team and become like a team member, a Patreon team member, a David Rams team member, and you get access to exclusive previews of videos and other exclusive content, as well as helping me out. So it's kind of a win-win situation. And you ask, what are my plans for the future? What am I planning to do to grow my reach? Well, because of what I've just said, and it's also it's kind of two main reasons for wanting to grow my reach. The first one is I want to grow my reach to reach more people and get more awareness. The second reason is, with the more reach I get and the more people that I get to, the animal rights message goes further, but also it increases the chances of people coming and joining the team and supporting. And also, the more reach on YouTube, the more I'm able to earn from YouTube as well. So it's kind of like a win-win. We raise more awareness and it allows me to keep doing it. It's kind of, it goes around like that in a circle. So it's great. It's like, okay, we're getting out to more people and it allows me to do more of it, and it gets out to more people and I get to do more of it, and it helps me. So how am I planning to do that? So with YouTube, I have invested a lot of time. I am investing a lot of time in keyword research now. And I'm putting a lot of my time and effort into researching keywords before I go and make a video, so that I know the title I'm going to use, that I know the hashtags I'm going to use, that I know exactly what I'm going to do and how it's going to look before I even hit the record button. So I've flipped everything on its head. I used to do it the other way, and now I do it this way. The reason is because people search for specific things on YouTube. And if you don't have those specific things in your title, thumbnail, hashtags, the chances of your video being found by new people is very, very, very slim, unless you've got an amazing subscriber base who is happy to just share your videos. At this point, I do have a great subscriber base. I'm very happy and I'm very privileged to have awesome subscribers. but we don't have enough of us yet to really make a big impact when it comes to YouTube's algorithm. We need more. We need to be like 100,000 or more for YouTube to start pushing my videos out just based on subscribers. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm making videos now with titles that are not necessarily directly linked to veganism most of the time. They're titles that you may be surprised to see on my page. That's why I'm thinking a lot of people might be a bit confused, like, what's going on with this channel? Is he changing? I'm not changing. If you watch the videos, you'll see they're about veganism, but you'll see the titles and thumbnails are starting to be a little bit more kind of designed to get the average user, the average person, a general person, not a vegan. And that's the aim I'm taking. That's what I'm trying to do to get more viral content and bring in more people. As I've just done, if you're going to go over to the YouTube, you're going to see a video about Billie Eilish. It's not actually about Billie Eilish. She appears in the video twice, but because I designed the video around that, and I designed the title around that, I designed the thumbnail around that, that video now has 15,000 views, and it's only been a few days. Whereas my usual videos only pull in around 1,000 to 2,000. So I'm seeing this new process really paying off already. And I highly recommend it for any content creator out there. Keyword research before you make the video, before you even plan the video, plan what is going to bring in the people. Because if you make a video, then you try and do that afterwards, you're quite limited. Whereas if you do the research first, then build a video from the research, you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, you're giving really good tips for all the content creators here. Really appreciate that. Now you have on YouTube, I think, about 9,000 subscribers.
Yeah, almost like 9,600.
Wow. I think I started to follow you about by 4,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it's growing relatively quickly for sure. I mean, I'm never happy with the amount of, I'm always like, no, we need to grow faster, obviously, because of what I just said. I want to make this something that I can do long term, and to be able to do this long term, it needs to grow faster. But yeah, it's definitely looking good. It's looking promising, and these tips that I've just mentioned are a big part of that. And this where most of the subscribers are coming from, where I've nailed a title and a thumbnail. The video itself, believe it or not, the video itself is actually not that big of a part of YouTube. The thumbnail and the title, if they don't click it, they're never going to see it. So your video could be amazing. Your video could be so amazing. You could have spent 20, 30 hours on the video. It doesn't matter. If your thumbnail, keywords in the keywords in the title, keywords in the hashtags description, thumbnail, if it's not set up correctly and it's not good, you've just wasted 30 hours of time because no one's going to see the video. And that was a tough lesson for me. I made some videos in the past that took so long, and I posted them and I was like, what the hell? This is a great video. Why is no one watching it? And I realized it's because it was a terrible thumbnail and a terrible title. And then, yeah, this was, a couple of years back, I lost a lot of faith, and I was like, why am I even doing this? What's the point? I didn't know I was doing. That was the problem. So yeah.
Yeah. Now you could repost those videos with a new thumbnail.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I'm planning to go back through and spend some time going back through and rejigging a few things and seeing if they get into some new algorithm and get pushed by the algorithm. And for sure, because it happens, YouTube sometimes just picks up a video from like 12 years ago and it pops up in your feed and you're like, what the hell is this? And then it's actually a really good video. And it turns out the algorithm just picked it back up and put it out there again. This can only happen if your video is properly optimized and it's got a clickable title and a clickable thumbnail. You could end up with a video with 10 million views that you posted 3 years ago. It could really happen, but only if it's set up correctly.
Yeah, I also changed at some point all the thumbnails from my videos, but I'm far away from your reach and anything. I just concentrate on LinkedIn. I just love LinkedIn. But we have a question here. I also I give my answer first. Doesn't keyword or SEO hinder you at creativity? I always say if I have few points I have to look, then it makes me even more creative. Because I have some barriers and then I have to be creative in that field or in that space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think it's about the tools you use because, yes, I agree with Marianne in that if you don't know what you're doing, it can be overwhelming and then it can make you think, like I just said, it can make you feel like, oh, what's the point? What's the point? I don't understand what I'm doing, and I spend all this time on videos, and I put it out there, and no one watches it, and I don't get SEO, and I don't understand what's going on. And like, yeah, it can be it can dissuade you from even doing it, but it can be easy as well. It can be easy, and a tool that I'm using right now, that if anyone wants to know what I'm using, it's called Morning Fame. It's this tool. There is a free version of it, but the paid version is definitely far superior, and I'm not usually into paying for things like this, but honestly, the returns that I've already had from using it are more than what I'm paying for it. As in, without this, my YouTube is earning less. With this, it's earning enough for me to justify paying for it. That's how good it is. It has a keyword research tool, by far the most powerful thing on it, and it simplifies the whole process. It really does. For me, it just made everything make sense like that. I was like, right, okay, now I get it. Now I get it. This tool is doing most of the hard yards for me. It doesn't take that long to learn it. And I don't work with them or anything, by the way. I'm not paid by them. I should be, though. They should be paying me something for this, but they're not. But it really doesn't hinder your creativity. If anything, using that keyword tool, keyword research tool with Morning Fame, it's making me more creative, because I go in there and they have kind of like, it's almost like AI, the system they have. It's almost like a little bit like suggests things for you, and then you can figure out what people are looking for, and then you can get inspired by, oh, people are looking for stuff like that. That's great. I wanted to do a video on that, and now I've got a reason to do it because people want it. And then you go and plan your video. That's what's happened to me a few times. I go in there, I do some keyword research. I'm like, what, people are really searching for that? Sweet. I want to do a video on that, and then I write out a video. And the best example of this so far would be the Billie Eilish video that I just did. Well, it's not about Billie Eilish, but yeah, she's the thumbnail, she's in the title. I used that keyword research tool for that video. That video has been very successful so far, and it's growing like crazy. It's at 15,000 views now, and it's only rising. So the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. So if SEO and keyword research is just like, well, it's just too overwhelming for you, like it is for me, then the Morning Fame is actually a really good resource. I can write it in the private chat if you want to.
That's okay. People. We're not doing yet any publicity for this, because they are not giving you any affiliate money for that.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them though. I mean, the guy who's the CEO of the whole thing, he seems to be pretty approachable. Like, I'm in a Facebook group with him. Okay. I'll drop a message. I'll say, like, I've got some reach. I'll pay me some money, and I'll promote you, because people want to know about this stuff. I think it's like, this is game changing for me, a real game changer. Yeah. So I'm happy to promote it if they'll give me a couple of pennies.
Yeah, do that. I'm a big fan of affiliate marketing. I did my first money with my current business with affiliate marketing. So I'm a big fan of that. I stopped doing that because I rather do marketing for my own business, but sure. I think there is so many possibilities, but it's more maybe for the vegan influencers. But I don't see any wrong in that. If you do affiliate marketing, would be awesome. I would support. And Morning Fame, I will check that definitely. I never heard of that. I knew some other tools, but this sounds good. I also saw the Billie Eilish video, like most of your videos. And maybe we wrap up now our interview. It's been nice 48 minutes. Maybe, sure. Okay, nice is maybe a wrong word. It has been also really dramatic in between. I'm really happy about all the guests we had here. I will here now post again all the banners we've been going through, and maybe you like to shortly say to all the banners something.
Okay, sure. So this is challenge22.com. This is a place you can go where you'll get free, 100% free support from qualified, professional, and also just general volunteers who are just there to help you learn about veganism and the plant-based diet and all the elements that you would need to go vegan. This is real people in like a Facebook group that you'll join, and they'll all be there to help. And there's also other people who are trying to go vegan too. So you're all in there together. It's really cool. I really very much recommend it if that sounds like the community thing is something that you would really like. Veganbootcamp.org is a little bit different. This is more about this is more a kind of course-based website. So if you're somebody who likes to do your own work, like you're like, oh, I don't need to have this community thing, let me just figure it out myself, right? This would be the place where you would go, because it's all free, again, course based. You got like a course on why go vegan, a course on vegan nutrition, a course on ethics, a course on the dairy industry, meat industry, everything, literally everything, all there step by step, and you can just go through it yourself, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of like you get like a percentage completion rate, you get like a little awards and points and stuff like that for doing it. So I like this kind of stuff personally. I like feeling like I'm accomplishing something while I'm learning, like step by step kind of thing. So that's really good for that. DaveRams.com, that's me, that's my website. That's where you can go and pick up some vegan merch, and it's obviously all vegan, ethically made. Get over there and pick something up. You'd be supporting me, and also you're picking up some cool merch, so it's a win-win. That really helps me out. And this is my YouTube, youtube.com/David Rams. Go over there and hit subscribe, and you can get access to free content. All the free content that I make is on YouTube and Instagram as well, but mainly on YouTube. So get over there, hit subscribe, hit some likes on the videos, and also dislikes too. If you don't like the content, hit the dislike button. It all helps actually. So if you're a hater, get over there, make some hate comments and some dislikes, please. But I assume most people here are not gonna be like that. So leave some interesting comments and leave some likes if you like the video. But whatever you do something. That's what I'm trying to say. Whatever it is, do something. Don't just watch it and leave. That sucks. Make sure you tell me what you thought and like or dislike. Are we done? Oh, on Patreon, I didn't see it change. Patreon is the page that I use to gain, to have income from people who want to actually like contribute and support the work that I'm doing. So this is for people who watch the videos, they like the videos, they want to see more of the videos, they want to see more of the stuff that I'm doing. Then they show me that by contributing and joining the David Rams team, I call it, the Patreon team. So you can join that for the smallest amount is $1 a month, which is not a lot for most people. But if 1,000 people do that, then that is a lot for me. And it really does enable me to keep doing what I'm doing. You also get access to exclusive video previews and exclusive content that I either won't post at all, or I will post a lot later. So you would get access to those before everybody else, and sometimes even stuff that I will never post to anybody else. So that's pretty cool.
And then in the Patreon teams also has a private chat with David via Discord. So it was also a cool thing for me to learn what is Discord. I've learned so many new things via David, not just about vegan, but I learned what's Patreon, what's Discord. And now I know what's morning fame. Whoa, this is just extraordinary cool.
Discord is really good. Yeah, Discord is like a kind of a group, like a private Facebook group, basically, kind of thing. And my Discord is that you join it, and it's not really public. It's more just people who are interested in the content and people who are interested in veganism and are vegan. And yes, as Emily said, if you join the Patreon team, you get access to a private area of that where I will come on, we'll do voice chats together, we'll have conversations together as a team. And I don't do that with the public team, at least not very often. It's much less often, and there are specific conversations that we only have in the Patreon team, like things like, I don't know, feedback and discussions about things that I wouldn't necessarily discuss publicly, things that are off topic, because I feel more that I can more do that with the Patreon team, because it's like hard to explain, but basically, you get that kind of exclusive kind of side of things, a side that I don't spend too much time on publicly, and that's kind of what you get for being part of an exclusive team. It's probably the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, I've also got to know cool people all around the world. That's the fun thing when you're supporting David. You're just not having things to do with the people in your own village, but all around the world we have people there from Brazil, from Spain, from Australia. It's cool. It's cool.
It's nice. It's a nice community.
Yes. Thank you, David, for being here today. Thank you for all the information you were giving us. And I'm really eager to see how many people watch this video in replay, because most of my people, they watch everything in replay.
Cool.
And I will give you some information maybe 2 weeks later to tell you how many people have been watching this. Sure. And really happy now to be connected with you here on LinkedIn as well. Would you like to say now in the end some kind of key message, something now to end this broadcast?
Absolutely. So remember the things that I discussed earlier in this video where I made those highly controversial or seemingly controversial comparisons and comments that probably upset a lot of people. Just remember that those comparisons are absolutely valid. There really isn't that much of a difference between the mindset that we have now towards non-humans and the mindset these evil people of history had towards other people that they deemed to be lesser than them. All right. Now the point is that just as what those people did wasn't necessary, what you are doing now isn't necessary. If you are consuming animal products and using animal products and you're eating meat, eggs, cheese, milk, you're wearing fur and leather, you're going to watch, sports that have animals, just remember none of this is necessary. Absolutely none of it. Just the same as those atrocities of the past that were done to humans weren't necessary. All right. So you can change. Just like we changed as a society and now we look at history and we are disgusted, you can change now. And don't be one of the people that future humans look back at and think you're disgusting for what you did to non-human animals, because they're going to. You can change now. You can do it for the animals. It really isn't that difficult. It takes a few weeks to get used to the new lifestyle, the vegan lifestyle. You have the links that I mentioned that can help you do it for 100% free. And you can do it. It's not kind of like if you can do it, you can do it. It's just whether or not you're willing to do it. And as I said, history is going to look back on you. How do you want to be looked back on? One of the people that refused, like we look back at the people that we mentioned earlier, like people like Nazis and slave owners. We look back at them, the ones who refused, the ones who wanted to keep things as the way they were. Or do you want people to look back on you as one of the visionaries, one of the people who actually saw that this was wrong and did something about it, as we look back on the heroes of the past, the ones that we look back on who actually did the right thing? That's for you to decide, and I hope you choose to do something about what's going on and stop paying for this abuse to the animals.
Thank you, David. This was a strong message to end our life. We can meet on backstage, but we say now bye-bye to all our followers here.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.